Hey guys, Levy Freeman here. Today we're playing Kaiserreich mod again. I was playing Road to 56 a bit, but I don't know. I mean, it wasn't all that hot. I wasn't a huge fan. It's all right, I guess. But I guess now we're back. Like an abused girlfriend, we're back to fucking Kaiserreich. And I was told that Transamur, they said in the patch notes, this patch 15.2 just dropped. The Transamurians over here are supposed to have an update to their focus tree to help them take their country back a bit better. So we will attempt that. So we'll just go with regular difficulty. We'll play with like normal rules. We're not going to try Iron Man though. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. There's no point if I'm not going for achievements. The Kaiserreich doesn't really have any achievements. I'm not going for I'm not going for an EP run. So we'll go for that. We'll get a wrecked for Kolchak here. I did see that the one change that kind of stuck out for me in the patch notes too is that, like, I just played Road to 56 and I've seen that they allow you to convert like lower tier equipment to higher tier equipment. And I don't know how, like, I mean, that's cool to do, but I'm not sure how I feel about that on the whole for, like, in terms of balance. I mean, it's like fun. It's obviously fun if you're like, oh, I went dispersed industry and this was like a cool surprise that popped up, right? But like, so of course you get a 20% conversion speed bonus if you click into the dispersed industry path with that first tack, right? And you can also grab these ones over here, but like that's just like another reason to like kind of go dispersed. So that kind of changes the balance between dispersed and concentrated a little bit. It also makes your tech choices a bit more forgiving, right? Like if you made a bunch of, if you didn't rush your tank tech fast enough, you made a bunch of medium tank ones, you could just pull them and like convert them into medium tank twos, if you had to, like send them back to stockpile and convert them right quick, especially if you're on dispersed industry. So I don't know. I think that makes the game a little bit more forgiving, and I'm not sure how I feel about that on the whole. As a dispersed industry too, I also recently found out, right? Like I mentioned in, I think, the video with USSR, where if you're on dispersed and you're stealing blueprints from someone who's on concentrated, you can farm those industry bonuses ahead of time. And if you saw that, we were like, I think 3 years ahead of time on our industry tech, or more, most of the time as USSR and Road to 56 doing that. So I don't really know if like dispersed industry really needed that buff, to be honest. I think that's probably, I could see why people would like that, but I think on the whole that's probably not a great change. But that's just my opinion. So I can see, like, you got the quality over here, right? Right away we got TRM Dream _1. Fat Natty Spirit giving us 3% approval population and 15% war support. And of course, as Admiral Dictator, we get 10% doctrine research speed. That's still the same, and we have the economic ties to Japan, which doesn't do anything yet. But maybe I guess that's using like a focus somewhere. I don't know. It doesn't list any effect. I've tried Transamur a couple times, and like it is a pretty RNG country. I think one time I got all the way up to the Urals or whatever, but then like Japan accepted a peace deal or something. We just got stuck there. It's like that sucked, and that was the game you rage quit. But we'll see how things go this time. We'll see how far we can get. So we are the man, the legend himself. We are Alexander Kolchak, who's hitting us up with a fat negative 30% stability for his shaky rule. What does it say here? It says something about him having a lot of haters. Once a polar explorer and commander in the Imperial Russian Navy, who had also fought in both the Russo-Japanese War and the Weltkrieg, Kolchak had tried to proclaim himself the supreme ruler of Russia, but failed to garner enough support. His relations with the newly created Russian Republic's government were quite hostile due to the Brest-Litovsk Treaty, which they had agreed to and signed, and had only worsened after 1925 to Kolchak's unsuccessful coup d'etat against the German lapdogs. The rogue admiral managed to flee Russia and found shelter in the pro-Japanese state of Transamur. Now an effective puppet state of Tokyo, Kolchak is trying to gather enough power and support to overthrow the government in Petrograd and proclaim himself leader of Russia. Well, we'll see if our boy Kolchak can do that. You know, he doesn't always make it. We have 47% party popularity. We are Pat Ott. We're occupying Russian territory, but they're not resisting right now. We're on extensive conscription, and we have basically no manpower. So like that's a bit concerning, isn't it? We're at extensive conscription, and we have the TRM underscore dream underscore one spirit, and we're still at this level of manpower. It's like that's a bit harsh. We're on export focus and toaster economy, which is normal. We've got the old general over here, the apologetic clerk, the resource industrialist, and the terror in the night. It gives us resistance growth speed plus 10%. So that's that might hurt us later. Let's also kill the music here before I get copy struck. Alright, military staff, mass combat defense, fire support, maneuver, and another fire support. You have static defense, elastic defense, decisive battle. So not a whole lot of options to pick from here. Power projection, indirect approach to open seas. And we have vertical envelopment, battlefield support, naval aviation, and air superiority. Hard attack and armor 10%, which that's a pretty nice manufacturer. Soft attack and reliability 10%. I think these are the same countries that are companies that Russia gets. But you see these are location gated, it looks like. So right now we're only stuck with this kind of shitty light tank manufacturer, and this also kind of shitty light tank manufacturer. But we do get the you do get the good ones. Of course, you have to have the company when you research your tank. So unless you're able to speed run Russia somehow, these will probably be too late to be relevant for most of the game. So that's a bit of a downer, isn't it? And yeah, so you have to have Petrograd, I guess, to have most of these. And again, I'm not sure if these are the same ones Russia gets or not. I don't usually build Navy as Russia. Yeah, these are, yeah. So you have the companies, but they're all fucking gated. So that's worthless. We can get this one over here though, Nakajima fighter manufacturer, which I probably would never buy anyways. It's like not great buffs for Nakajima. Like this is the one you want probably right here, but that's also you have to have Moscow for that. If you already have Moscow, why do you need to buy the equipment manufacturer that would help you take Moscow? That's the question, right? Izhevsk. That's interesting. When I was first getting into firearms, the most of the rifles and stuff I had a random shotgun. I had like a single shot shotgun made by a company called Baikal, and that's actually I guess an offshoot of Izhevsk. So like I think all the guns I owned at one point were from that arsenal. You see the little arrow symbol on that. It's like that's pretty cool to see that there. Unfortunately, soft attack and defense probably not what you're picking. You'd rather have this one over here. Vladivostok arsenals. Yeah, okay, well, whatever. Industrial concerns. So, again, you have to. It looks like these are all gated except for the radar station one. So, okay. So there you go. There's your companies. You don't get access to a lot of them, but once you win the game, you can meme. Matters of the Russian state. So we can move the provisional capital. And then we can choose between Moscow and Petrograd. Moscow is probably the better choice, but I do like Petrograd. And I guess we can pay political power to support an anti-Japanese rally. Japanese, of course, are also represented by the authoritarian Democrat popularity. Used to have a couple other options over here too. You could also try and promote, like you kind of play the Japanese against it or something like that. It was like another annoying decision mini game, but it's one they didn't really have to play all that often. But we'll see if that's different. Then we have the usual fixers. Spy agency, don't have one, can't afford one. We have 3 research slots. We have the 1936 rifle and Marines. We have engineers and recon. We have Weltkrieg tank. We have a base artillery. We have no land doctrine. And over here, so we have subs. We have torpedo 2. We have light guns 2. Ammunition 1. And we have 1936 cruiser attack and destroyer attack, including the revived armored cruiser. No transports in the first mine tech. No naval doctrine. We have 36 fighter, naval bomber. That's interesting that you get the 1936 fighter. Like, that's cool. No air doctrine, no engineering, and no industry, obviously. Like, I guess some countries do start with the fuel techs, but I don't think anyone starts with machine tools and construction, which would be probably overpowered if they did. Diplomacy. So we have, we're nominally a Japanese puppet, but we're not actually a puppet at all. We just, I guess, have military access and the guarantee in a non-aggro pact. Legation cities, we have a non-aggro pact and military access. And Fengtian government, we have a non-aggression pact with. And then we have a bunch of people who like us or not based off our ideology, I guess. Trade, we have 44 chrome. And that's it. Construction, we have, looks like 2 civilian factories available. And I think, yeah, like you're already all full up here in Transamur. It's like you can't even build any more factories. It's like what you have is what you get until you get some building slots from somewhere. Production. So we're making some pre-dreadnoughts, which is like pretty disappointing because a pre-dreadnought's like a pretty shit ship. Yeah. Like at least you can get torpedoes, but it's like you don't have a whole lot of turrets. Your stats aren't going to be all that great, and they're slow as fuck. So right away, no, not building those. Definitely not. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we have all that many contemporary ships we can build. Probably just want to build destroyers. We'll take a look at our navy. Maybe submarines would be alright. Although, if our goal is to take back Russia, I think the admiral is not going to get too much use out of his navy, if we're being honest. We only have 2 dockyards too. Let's just, I don't know, let's just get some convoys and a destroyer. Sure. Recruit and deploy. So we have 12 with cavalry, we have 12 with infantry, we have 18 with infantry, and we have 18 with infantry with artillery. And we also have 12 with infantry-based tank template, which is pretty disappointing. Usually you want to see trucks or cav there, but of course we don't have trucks research, so that was never going to happen, was it? Alright, there we go. So we have a deficit of rifles, and we're missing some steel. I guess we'll go like so. Research is, let's get some picks here. We'll get machine tools. Obviously, we get machine tools. What do we want to do for our tech? So if I remember correctly, Transamur used to have like a pretty good tank research tech that you get pretty fast. This has changed. So, okay, so we'll have to go through this national focus tree. So, what do we have here? Continue militarization, so we're going to get some recruitable population factor and some more support. We'll place TRM_dream_1, the legendary spirit. Legendary national spirit will be replaced with greater Transamur ambitions. Damn. Well, at least the quality controlled that name, didn't they? TRM_dream_1, jeez. So get Army Experience 50 and a Land Doctrine boost, 2 booster infantry weapons and support artillery. 100,000 manpower. That's a pretty big manpower injection. And we will get division attack and defense plus 5%. That's not too bad. We'll get supply consumption minus 10% and train penalty reduction plus 5%. That's pretty good. We'll get 2 free motorized divisions and 1 military factory and an armor tech research. I think this used to be a twofer, which was like very strong. You get yourself some pretty nice medium tanks out, or light tanks. 1 research bonus is still like, I don't know, I mean 1, 2, 3. You don't need 1 of these actually, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. You get that in like 200 days. And you get this in 161 days. So it's like you could still rush your heavy 1 if you want to go heavy 1 with a 100% research bonus. And Transamur does have chromium, so that would be a viable tactic to do. Oh, 3 factories. You get like 6 factories, which would probably be like as much as you're gonna get onto heavy tank early game, anyways. But you can make yourself heavy tank. Transamur if you wanted to. Subsidize the aviation sector. So like this is pretty good. You already start with 1936 fighters, right? You can come down over here. You could oh, I see. So you have to choose between the Navy and air now. That sucks both my balls. So I guess if you pick air though, like this is like 200% bonuses for fighter tech when you already start with the first fighter tech. That's real good. Like get this, and then right away, like pop, and get yourself a quite nice fighter, fighter 2, and then you have a research bonus for fighter 3 after that even. So that's real strong. Like especially if you're playing this and like you had like your buddy playing Japan or something, and you could like license him that design or something like that. That'd be good. 3 air base, and you get 1 paratrooper division and an air base. Okay, or 1 paratrooper division and a research boost for airborne. Wow, I really fucked seeing that up, didn't I? You get 1 bonus for CAS, bonus for air doctrine, 2 bonuses for TAC bombers. Okay, what do we get if we go Eastern Harbor? So we get 50 Navy XP. Okay. You get Fleet and Being, or you can pick Trade Interdiction. If you go Fleet and Being, you get 3 dockyards. So 3 dockyards, like I don't know, Okay, you get either way. Either way, you get 3 dockyards, and you can get another 3 dockyards over here. So 6 dockyards is pretty significant, actually. 2 bonuses for armored cruisers and cruisers. Bonus for destroyers, and you have new ship designs, which gives you capital ship carrier and screen and submarine. So like pretty much everything minus 5% cost. So you choose that or 3 dockyards, I guess. Otherwise, you get submarine, carrier, and 2 bonuses for naval doctrine. Fair enough. Well, I mean, like you guys, you know what I said there, right? It's like this is cool, like especially if you needed to help Japan out in the Navy game, like you probably want to pick this for being like a sport country. That might be good. Like, I think Japan probably already has a fighter bonus of their own they could grab. But having the option to have your buddy research it and license it's probably it's nice to have that in case Japan want to do something else other than rush fighter. Uh, but you could help. Like I think trying to take back Russia though is like I'm not sure what you would do with your navy because like this is like it's not like you can send your guys up here or something like that, and like who are you gonna get docking rights from? Like you have to like to get like a naval invasion to help out. You have to get like your shit all the way over here, which you might be able to get. You could probably get docking rights for Germany during the Weltkrieg, but then you're probably at war with Germany too, right? We'll see. We'll see. I think the if Transamur does start stabbing Russia in the back during the Weltkrieg a lot, like it says in the patch notes, so that will change the dynamic of the Second Weltkrieg pretty considerably because that's second front for Russia. So they might not be able to just steamroll Germany as easy as they would otherwise. So we have increased trade. I got distracted there for a bit. I have increased trade with Japan. So we're going to get consumer good factories minus 10%, but we're going to lose 5% of our civilian and military industry. We get 50 political power. Huh. That seems bad. Okay. You get Transamurian currency and Harbin. Okay. Get some infrastructure. So we give them even more of our factories for production efficiency cap and factory output, and 2 off-map civilian factories. So if you did this, and this, And like all this stuff here, like Japan is getting 30% of your industry. Like that seems like a bit much. Seems like you get substantial buffs here, but like that's like you pay quite a bit for that. Like I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the math is like on that. I guess giving up 5% of your military factories to get 10% output is probably like a good trade in like two off-map civilian factories. If you only have four civilian factories, it's like plus 50 or plus 33% to give them 5% back over here. It seems like you're still winning in that trade, sort of. And then this is like a break even on the military stuff. And construction speed is probably what you're using your civvies for. So like that's still a little bit ahead unless you're using it for trades and stuff. But so I don't know. I guess it balances out a little bit. Consumer goods factories minus 10% is of course very good. And this is a land doctrine research bead and 2 bonuses for land doctrine and infantry weapons. And this is naval stuff. So like this is like let's get a little bit sketch. I like these two over here particularly because this is like kind of a trade-off over here, but this is like straight you're trading factories forever, as far as I can tell, for a research boost. You get 2 bonuses for ships over here, and you get 1 research bonus for like this other stuff over here. Like you could get like 3 bonuses for subs. Like it seems pretty fast. I think snorkel might also be considered submarine technology too. So if you're willing to take that hit, you might be able to get some badass modern subs out pretty soon. That's something you could do as this country. It seems like that would be on the table. Okay, so then we have industry in Vladivostok, which is probably like you probably want those factories. You probably want them pretty fast. This 100,000 manpower also kind of like a priority to you, given our relative dearth of manpower at the moment. Okay, so you can't do this until we got some more. And this is expand industry in Khabarovsk over here. So like you probably want to grab these factories. Like that's pretty important, it seems. And then the rest of this tree, it looks like this will open up once you're able to once you push in, you start taking the stuff out. Although if you look what is this? The Earl tractor plants. This is the same focus I think that Savinkov gets. With the steel and the military factories and the armor production costs decrease. Like that's a very strong national focus, especially when it doesn't come with a negative 5% recruitable population factor attached, isn't it? I can't remember if Savinkov's does. Like I think it does in the VES. No. So it is exactly the same. This is one of the ones that doesn't have the negative 5% recruitable population stuck on it. So you get that the copy and pasted national spirit, which is, focused. I don't know, maybe a little bit lazy, but I mean that's a good one to have. Civilian factories and infrastructure, civilian factory, and military factory. And then your research slot down there, once you control Moscow. And then after you've taken out the Russians, I guess you get access to all this stuff over here. Ooh, that's spicy. Build up White Russia. So this, I guess, is after you take out... You have to have Minsk, Brasla, and Domogliev. So if you've killed White Ruthenia, you can do this. This is build up the Baltics. So Estonia, that'd be Lithuania, and Latvia, looks like. Central Asia, Caucasus... So I guess what they're thinking here is like Russia goes and they eat all those people and then you kill Russia, unless they give us at peace, independent, and Russian Republic does not exist, and we have to own Novo Nikolaevsk. Not sure where that is. And we can create the Moscow Accord, or we can join the Entente. And then we get White Ruthenia, Ukraine, and crush German hegemony and Karelia. Okay, so it's like you can pretend you can do Russia things over here, the usual Russia things, just several years later. Okay. So I guess you kill Russia after Russia's already done Crisis on the Dawn. Like, I mean, I don't think there's a chance in hell the Transamur kills Russia before they start doing their expansionism and focusry. And Crisis on the Dawn is like the first one, right? So it's like you get Crisis on the Dawn 2, Electric Boogaloo with different color Russia. I don't know. This seems like a little bit fugly for the way the foreign policy works. It's like more just like this stuff seems like more or less a copy and paste of like things you'd be invading as like regular Russia. The aftermath of the coup. So like if you played Transamur before, unless they've changed it, somewhere along the line, someone is going to go and they're going to try and shoot down Admiral Kolchak like they did Kerensky, right? And you're going to have some options after that happens. And if you want to keep Kolchak, which we do, I'm pretty sure you have to have the Japanese guards step in. You can have Kolchak fight it off himself, but I think then they decide you're a loose cannon and they want to take you out. So you have to suck a little Japanese dick there and have them put down the coup and gain some party popularity. And I think that's how you keep Kolchak in command. Of course, this is a choose-your-own-adventure event, so you never know. So if we keep Kolchak in, so we'll try to do that. We get the Supreme Ruler over here. And so this requires okay. Requires all power to the Admiral. It's like, why is this over here and like not in line? It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you can't do near leadership and you can't do this. We'll see. Russian Republic, occupy the Russian Far East. Long road to Moscow. Okay, so I guess it's like once that happens, this is how we occupy the. We can only do this once they're at war. So it looks like no fun allowed until Well Creek 2 Electric Boogaloo, and then we can try and occupy the Far East and then march to Moscow. Fair enough. So if you go with Kolchak, you get some stability, you get some party popularity, you get more stability and war support. At the cost of political power, of course, and that makes Alexander Kolchak your leader there. Like, where are we on, right? Old general, like that's unfortunate because like getting the army experience gain is like pretty nice. We purge the army, which gives us a 180-day a malice over there. I guess like not as bad as like a Stalin purge, I guess, but that's still harsh. So you probably want to get that out of the way real fast. And let's see here. If all power to the Admiral is chosen, if new leadership is chosen. So, okay, wait, what? Alexander Kolchak is not the current country leader. Okay. It requires purge the army or military reforms. Okay, so I guess you get this if you look to Kolchak or some new guy. And you get this only if you go with the new guy. So going with the new guy seems like I don't know. This layout is like fucked, right? It's like this should be in line with this and not branched off of Purge the Army because it does not require Purge the Army, right? And then this should be in line with this because new leadership doesn't lead to it. So it's like this is dumb as hell. Like I don't know what they were thinking when they laid this out. Like, why can't you just put it in line like it was before? Why does everything have to be zigzaggy like this? Like, this is confusing. This is very confusing, the dotted line. So it's like the dotted line, it's like this requires either or, but this does not. I don't know. It makes, I don't understand this convention. So if we do all power to the Admiral, we get consumer goods -5%. Okay, and it's the same. It's the same effect for either. So it seems like keeping Kolchak is probably strictly worse than going with new military leadership. If we're being honest, right? I think you lose the 60 or the 30% stability after he survives the coup, or the negative 30% boost. But even then, 10 stability compared to 5% division org, and then you get the extra weapons bonus over here, and you have to eat a purge as opposed to a recovery rate and reinforced rate buff. And then you lose your guy that gives you the army experience. Like, all power to the admiral seems not great, right? It seems not great. I think maybe people are hating on erect for Kolchak memes a little bit over here, but whatever. We'll try for it anyways. We'll try for it anyways. Do you really want to unite Russia as Transamur without Kolchak? I mean, it's like kind of the ones where, like, he's such an iconic character that these other paths might as well, like, not even exist. Like, you're never going to try and take them. So first focus, what do we pick here? Do you want to go for a tech rush or not? We'll say no for now. Let's just go with our... of course, having civilian factories is a little bit pointless if you have no building slots to put anything in. Having military factories is also a little bit dumb if you have no manpower to give the guns to. So maybe it would be better off to go for a tech start. But we'll pick this up first anyways. I mean, this seems reasonable. At the very least, you'll get the military factories to build more guns. Researches. There's a focuser that says it gives us motorized units. Add technology, motorized infantry. So I guess it's kind of pointless to research motorized if you're just going to have to get this anyways. Let's get the construction. Also pointless because we have maxed building slots. Like, that's a mistake to pick that. Kind of what doctrine would we like to go? The supply seems like that could be pretty good for going to fight in Siberia. So, like, you know what? Let's go for deep battle. Go for deep battle, and let's get the move yourselves to eat a light tank. So we'll roll out like that. Civilian factories. Trade 1 steel with our Japanese overlords. And they leaves us with 1 factory available. Build up some infantry or industry or infrastructure in Khabar-Vosk over here. Alright, so army, what do we get? We already know we're under strength. Alright, we have 3 units of cavalry, 2 18 widths with no artillery, 2 18 widths with artillery, and a 12 width. All 50% strength, it looks like. What do we have here for a general? So we have offensive doctrine and promotion cost. I mean, this is pointless because he's already a field marshal, isn't he? But he's got 5 fucking attack, which is like pretty sick for a level 3 general. So that's nice. Of course, he does have the extra +1 because he has the offensive doctrine. We have Grigory Semenov over here with a max entrenchment, and he's already got cavalry leader. Our man himself over here. He's a media personality, and he has 4 attack, but he is only a general. I guess it makes sense that he's an admiral, right? And then we have commando, which out of supply might be useful in Siberia. We have an organizer, and we probably want to promote him so we can get a logistics wizard. And this guy over here, no traits, but he has 3 attack at level 2, so like that's also pretty sick. It's like not bad. I mean, you definitely have some guys over here that are like farmable. You know, this guy's alright. Uh, you know, this guy over here doesn't have any learned traits. And so you could like take this guy and use him as your general too. He's already got 5 attack. Uh, and I'm not sure what weights this personality or background trait does, but I mean, you could farm this guy too. Kolchak would be alright if you didn't have politically connected, which is unfortunately not great. And then you get a guy who can get logistics wizard right off the bat. It's like not too bad. Air, you get 25 fighters, 25 attack bombers. Navy, so we have 2 pre-dreadnoughts, which are of course not great capital ships. Level one all around for that. So like that's disappointing. 2 pre-dreadnoughts. You have this capital cruiser over here, which has level 2 armor. Okay. And this is like an odd variant over here. So we have 2 secondary batteries, an anti-air. You could stick a rapid fire gun on this thing. This is like more than double your soft attack. It's nice that we start with that level 2 escort cruiser battery too. Level 3 one, I mean. So, I mean, that would be okay. Like if you didn't have these batteries, and you just strap on some additional rapid fire guns, it might be nice, but it is what it is. Also, out-of-date engine. This is also a coastal defense ship, not actually a cruiser. I got confused by the seas. Like, no, this is like actually dog shit. Yeah, coastal defense ship, very poor speed, very bad range. Not a great fighting ship. And a bunch of well-crewed destroyers. Like, our navy is actually pretty awful. I mean, it's got capital ships, so it's something, but like they're not very good ships. We have Mr. Kolchak over here, who is a superior tactician, and Georgie Stark, who is not bad stat-wise, I guess, but nothing else going for him. Alright, so up here we're making 0.93 political power per day after selecting a focus. Look, that's not too bad. We have 47% party popularity, an abysmal 20% stability, 70% war support, which is pretty good. Basically no manpower. 3 mills, 3 civilian factories, and 2 naval dockyards, and a stockpile of 41.4k with no oil. And we start with 28 convoys. So that's what you get when you play as Transamur. Let's go ahead and start that timer. Transamur, provisional of Russian state in Vladivostok. Siberia and the Russian Far East have been a major area of conflict during the Russian Civil War. As location of a short-lived democratic republic, the rising of the Czech Legion and Japanese intervention. While forced to evacuate their forces due to German pressure as well as intense resistance from local Cossacks, the Japanese remained eager to extend their influence and in around 1922 pushed for the establishment of independent state in the Transamur region. This motion gained the support of the Vladivostok business community, despite the fact that it left them vulnerable to forming an economic dependency on Japan. The majority of the business community, however, saw economic and diplomatic relations with the rising power in the East as a significant advantage, especially when compared to the alternative of being sucked further and further into the disorder plaguing the rest of Russia. The new nation gained a prominent figurehead in the form of Admiral Kolchak, one of the more successful white generals of the Civil War, and the one-time self-proclaimed supreme ruler of Russia, of all Russia even, who had been forced to flee Russia following his unsuccessful coup attempt in 1925. In 1936, the Transamur Republic has become a corporate militaristic state and is politically, economically, and militarily under the thumb of the Japanese Empire. And yet Kolchak has ambitions of his own. Could he simply be playing a very dangerous game, using the Japanese protection to establish his own rule, first over Siberia and then over Russia as a whole? Maybe we are. Maybe we are doing that. Interesting. Nope. There goes Kerensky. Alright. We get observer rights. Fair enough. Agitators into Siberia. With the death of Kerensky, the political situation in Russia proper is more chaotic than it's ever been in recent years. Some of our ministers believe that the opportunity now exists for us to strike again. We should start with sending in agents to push our agenda all across eastern Siberia. If the people hear us, it's inevitable that they will join us to try and bring down the corrupt regime in the West. Okay, so we sent them in. Recent reports have reached us making clear that our plan to send agitators to Siberia to spread our ideas was even more effective than we had predicted before. So I guess we got lucky. A number of people, many of them armed and military trained, left their homes for our host. We now have enough additional manpower for a good division. Welcome home, brothers. Our old friend is dead. News of the death of George V, the king in exile of the United Kingdom, has recently reached Vladivostok. Once Kolchak's ally, the monarch guaranteed his safety in 1925 until the British Revolution. His son Edward has now ascended the throne in Canada. Although neither Kolchak or Edward know each other personally, this resetting of relations could be the start of a long period of partnership between our countries. We should send an envoy to negotiate for support. Strong allies are always good. We will see. Oh, our envoy has returned with unfortunate news. King Edward VIII has expressed little interest in our cause. To put it mildly, the king said bluntly that we are nothing but a clique of buffoons desperately trying to preserve our misbegotten rule. He promised absolutely nothing from the Entente, and our relationship is definitely worsened. What a rude person. Oh, I lose party pot for that. Rough. Like, that also makes no sense, right? Like, if you're trying to, like, overthrow Germany and retake your, like, I don't know. Having Russia in the Entente seems like that would be very much in your interests as the Canadians. And of course, Transamur is the faction that will do that. Right, like you saw back here when we looked at the focus tree. Join the Entente. So, I mean, you would think that he would want to help out a little bit more. But I guess he's concerned only with taking his island back, and he's not thinking forward to round 2 with the Kaiser, where it would really help to have Entente Russia on the back end, wouldn't it? Right, we got some more exiles. That's great. So it's like a positive event that keeps occurring. That's rare in Kaiserreich, isn't it? Usually you get resistance buffs, or stability hits, or political power hits, or all of the above. Black Monday. Qing hegemony shatters. Oh. I don't remember getting an advantage about Wu Peifu backing anyone. Maybe I clicked past it. Or he neglected to do it, and we'll see Manchu Cube this game. That's possible. Yep, looks like we're going to see the Manchu Cube. Either that or the Zilli Clique. That's good for us. I mean, if we're going to stay aligned with Fang Tian, that's going to be strong for Fang Tian, because he will pick up one of these guys. Looks like probably An King. So it'll be in our best interests to ensure that he wins here. Looks like maybe we should send some guys over, but we have a pretty big rifles deficit. So I'm not sure how much we'd actually be able to help. I don't want to bleed more rifles either, and like that fight's at half strength because it's under supply. Ain't gonna do much. Do you want to agitate in Siberia? Let's do it. Okay. So it costs us right and the political power to do that, though, you know? Okay, so like, what's this thing over here? A visit from our masters. We get political power and stability in the, and then okay, so we get 40 PP, and then we can pay 50 PP to drop that authoritarian democracy popularity. So that's the game. Do you want to agitate in Siberia? Sure. I wonder what the odds are in that event. Like, we seem to be winning a lot. I guess it's getting pretty late over here. It's like I started this late. Nice event to you here again. So I'm gonna call it here and I'll pick this up tomorrow. Leopard Freeman signing out.